Greetings, psychonauts and psychonauts, people that love psychedelics, are interested, hate them, whatever it may be. If you're interested in this channel only for the psychedelic stock market, welcome. There's a lot of psychedelic stocks going on and they're doing good. I'm going to start today off with a story. It's about a group hallucination, which I didn't know existed until the first time I had one. I was with my friends at the I'm from Chicago, the Chicago Botanic Gardens. I was with 3 of them. We took an eighth of magic mushrooms each. We were 18 years old, so we were very new to it. In fact, I think it was my second time ever doing mushrooms. And we headed over to this little section that had some apple trees. And I was tripping balls. In fact, one of my friends, he threw up like right then. And I told him, hey, I heard it's good if you throw up. I still haven't checked this because the mushrooms come back up in your system and flood it and you trip harder. I don't know. Anyways, we walk on over to the apple trees right after that, which are sitting by this lake. And they're sitting over there, and I stood up and I started chucking these apples into this lake. And my friend turns to me and he goes, what are you doing? And I said, well, the lake's starving, Steve. It's starving. It's hungry. Help me. So my friends got up and we were all laughing and chucking these apples into the lake. And next thing I know, we all just stopped and were silent because we looked out at this lake and there was apples in the entire thing. The entire lake was suddenly filled with apples. And we must have thrown, I don't know, 10 each. And there was probably thousands of apples in this group hallucination. That's what it was. There was no apples in it before. I still don't know what it was, but it was one of the most metaphysical, spiritual things I've ever experienced. And we all saw it at the same time and were silent. These apples were filled in a geometric grid. Perfect. I mean, perfect feet apart, all the same, all had their stems sticking up, bobbing in the water, and suddenly the water stilled. It stilled and the sun was shining on it and I felt this rush of energy and I looked at my friends and all of our mouths were agape. And to this day, we still talk about it. We don't know what it was. But that's the magic of psychedelics. Sometimes you could have those experiences. Sometimes you truly can feel like you see God. I'm not on one side or the other. I am spiritual. I have had spiritual, metaphysical experiences. And I do think there's value to them. In the same sense, I don't know what I saw. I'm pretty agnostic when it comes down to it. What I do know is psychedelics have helped me tremendously with depression, with anxiety, with PTSD. I owe a whole lot to psychedelics, and that's why I believe in them, and that's why I started this channel. So please stay tuned for the news. Stay tuned weekly, subscribe, like, and let's get this show on the road. MAPS, great organization. They have ongoing FDA trials for MDMA, for some other psychedelics. They've been doing it forever. I've been looking to reach out to Rick Doblin, the founder, for an interview. I really want to talk to you. Rick, I went to high school where you grew up. So please, everybody in the comments, hit MAPS. Tell them to get at me. We talked to Ronan Levi of Field Trip Health. We have some other interviews coming up. I want to talk to MAPS, especially now because MAPS, they introduced a psychedelic hotline this week. So if you have questions regarding psychedelics, if you're having a bad trip, their staff that's been trained for 36 hours is going to be there on the other end of the line to talk you through a bad trip, to give you some information about psychedelics that you didn't know. MAPS, I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you for what you're doing. And people, if you want to support psychedelics and the psychedelic movement even more, subscribe, like, and comment on this page. And also, please, if you can, donate $5 to MAPS. In other news, Cambridge, Massachusetts joins the growing list of places that are decriminalizing not only magic mushrooms, but all psychedelics. So you know what this means. Cambridge, I'm moving there. Let's party. Just joking. Let's have spiritual, meaningful ayahuasca trips together. I'm coming to you, Cambridge. You guys are killing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Great job on the decriminalization. Other cities should follow suit. Chicago, where I'm from. Where's my Chicago people at? Tell me in the comments. Peyote guy. Yeah, I wanted to get to this. Peyote guy. There's a couple in Arizona, specifically Camp Verde. They had 8.9 pounds of mescaline, 427 live peyote cacti, 83 marijuana plants, 29 pounds of dry peyote, 59 pounds of processed marijuana, and 5 pounds of psilocybin mushrooms. Oh, and seven LSD tabs? I'll bring the acid, guys. All jokes aside, apparently these guys were starting a Native American church to justify selling psychedelic drugs, which, you know, is questionable. I didn't really dig into the details, but they were released from prison on February 3rd for $10,000 bond. What I want to get to is, guys, if you're short on acid, if you only have 7 tabs, call me, because I'd like to come to your party. Like I told you last week, the 5 MEO DMT toads, they were recently on an episode of Hamilton Morris. People have called me a low-rate Hamilton Morris. I'll take that as a compliment. He's a much smarter guy. He's a chemist. His show's better. He has more production value and money. And I love the show. Hamilton, I would love to have you on the show. If you guys want to see Hamilton, tell him, you know, berate him. Let's get annoying. Let's get Hamilton on the show. Hamilton was talking about, on his show actually, and this just came up in the news that I was reading, the Bufo alvarius toad is facing extinction right now because so many people are milking it for 5-MeO DMT. Going back to Hamilton, on his show, he talks about how, and he actually does synthesize 5-MeO DMT, and he, on his show, raises the argument that there's no difference between the two. It's the same chemical. So that being said, let's save the frogs. They got it bad enough with the raccoons that are trying to eat them. And let's start moving towards synthetic 5-MeO DMT. Moving on to other news. Can a company patent psychedelics? There are companies right now that are doing just that. I want you to talk about this in the comments. Give me your feedback, because this is something that we're going to be talking about a lot. Compass Pathways, which is actually traded on the NASDAQ. It's the only psychedelic company that's traded on a major exchange. Anyways, Compass Pathways is patenting a crystalline form of psilocybin. I have some confusion on whether that is synthetic or not. It seems like it's a synthetic form. If it's a synthetic form of psilocybin, I still don't think you get to do that, Peter Thiel. You're rich enough. You don't need to patent psychedelics. Leave them alone. That's my stance. I don't think psychedelics should ever be patented. They should not be patented. You tell me what you think, because also it appears that Compass Pathways, and I'm learning about patents, is also putting things in their patent application, like the therapist, they're patenting that a therapist can't use music besides them in therapy, that they're also patenting that you can't lay down. Like, Peter Thiel, if you're trying to start a psychedelic monopoly, we're all coming for your head. You're not gonna get away with this. Compass Pathways, I do own some of the stock. CMPS on the NASDAQ, because I'm not gonna miss out on money, and I do, at the end of the day, patent or not, I think these substances help people, and that's what we should be promoting. Whoa, and this just in for my mom. I just finished shooting the latest, but breaking news, she just sent me an article that psilocybin mushrooms, according to John Hopkins, is 4 times more effective than antidepressants. So I'll leave you with that, people. These things help people. Psychedelic news. Stay tuned. So am I doing a good job, or am I tripping? Let me know in the comments. I'm just joking, YouTube. It's just notebook paper. I'm not tripping. Psychedelic news on all social media. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your uncle, tell your auntie, tell your dog. Dolly, come here. Say hi. Say hi, poo-poo. Say hi. That's it for Psychedelic news for today. See you guys next time.